The product is Hex. I care a lot more about Hex than I do PulseChain. That's the product. In comparison, do not give a shit about Pulse. What's up, guys? Boi Crypto with you here, doing kind of a quick reaction to the ending of the Hex conference on Monday night. Richard, of course, was the final speaker. First off, I thought, the reason that I am in Hex, one of them, and one of my favorite reasons is the fact that it is such a maniacal community. And some people in crypto, or I guess like outsiders from Hex, see it and call it a cult, of course, call it just call it maniacal, basically. And what they don't understand is that's good for investing in a cryptocurrency. A community, regardless of how fanatical they may be, is literally the most important thing in crypto. And, there's going to be Hex maxis out there that look at Zen and just look at the chart and some of the people that are involved in it and make fun of it and everything. But the same thing there, say what you will, like, it is a community. I'm not making any predictions about either one. I'm just saying that it is a fever pitch community. That's just the way it is. But the point of this video is to talk about Hex, what Richard actually said, and some of the massive disappointment, obviously, from people that were expecting an official V3 launch date, or an official even Pulse launch date, which I definitely didn't think we were going to get. He did, provide literal direct messages from some of the devs and what they were saying and stuff like that, and then just kind of launched into some of the normal shtick that he does, love it or hate it. Now, there are some people out there that are going to love anything Richard does, no matter what, because, back to the community thing, and they've been in Hex since day one, and they're just going to keep beating that drum. There's also people right now that are absolutely either already have capitulated back when Hex was under 2 cents for the first time here, and people that are still going to capitulate because they just can't take waiting any longer. So I'm going to make a comparison here real quick that I've made before, and some of you will get it. Some may know what I'm talking about if you happen to be a fan of this band. Yes, a musical band. My favorite band of all time is Tool, okay? That's another one. Kind of love them or hate them. Some people think it's honestly, it's a weird comparison, but it is something like Hex. It's a maniacal group of fans that love the band, love Maynard's lyrics, they are one of the most musically talented band. I think that's nearly an objective statement almost. But there was a 13-year gap from the album 10,000 Days, which came out in 2006, and Fear Inoculum, which came out finally in 2019, okay? People love this band. They hold some of these songs so dearly. They've changed their lives and this and that. Just crazy stories about the connection to this band. And I love them too. I've been a fan since I was just 19 years old. And for a long time, it was like this. I was going to forums every single day. I was looking for any shred of any update I could possibly get. The band is so anal and takes things so seriously and wants it to be absolutely perfect. And that made us kind of privy to some details occasionally that fans of a normal or different band wouldn't be privy to. Like, hey, well, every now and then, Maynard, the vocalist, would tweet just something small. He doesn't like to do that, but he did it because he felt like he owed people something, and he wasn't really the one holding up a lot of the things going on. And people were privy to like some details, thinking, okay, so if Maynard's got the tracks, and he's recording some vocals right now, that's going to give them time to get the vocals back to the studio, and then what you're going to do is you're going to have mastering, and people were putting timelines on it because they were privy to these details that with like a normal, some like mainstream crap rock band like 3 Days Grace or something like that, you wouldn't know anything, and they're popping out an album like every 2 years that isn't any good anyway. PulseChain, it is so similar to me. And I understand I'm comparing two like totally different things. We're talking about a blockchain and a financial market versus a band. But I'm telling you, the communities is really what I'm getting at here. Like two maniacal communities of two different phenomenons that started to be privy to things, once again, that you're normally not. People have been waiting for Ethereum to be proof of stake for years. And finally, a merge happened in September of 2022. All these people are privy to PulseChain details because they are insanely obsessed with Hex and Richard Hart. And I'm not downing them. They're for very good reason. I do think he's one of the best and smartest people in crypto, and I think Hex is something that people should be in and take very seriously. But they are privy to details that they normally wouldn't be. Not only that, I think a lot of investors in Hex are young people that have not really been through, clearly, I mean, and this makes sense, being involved in like a startup or like a VC or something like that, and sending money to somebody, sacrifice obviously, but sending money to like a company that hasn't launched yet or something, and the timetable that could be possible here. You know what I mean? So they're privy to all these details. So it's like every day they're tweeting about this, whether positive or negative, and like looking at it. And you just have to let it go. Like usually something like this, you're not even going to be privy to these kind of details. It's just going to come out someday. We're now talking about years from the sacrifice initial phases for Pulse and then Pulse X until this thing is going to come out. So find something else to do. I don't know what else to tell you. There's no reason in my eyes for the Hex price to be going up and down maniacally based on Richard's every move and PulseChain's every move. I get it. There's not going to be like a lot of liquidity and, people are obsessive about this product. But look, the product is Hex. I care a lot more about Hex than I do PulseChain. PulseChain is simply another layer one that obviously Hex users mostly and other people as well are going to use because there's going to be lower fees than Ethereum. It's going to help out people that are in Hex, have tons of Hex stakes and stuff like that. I care about Hex though. That is the beautiful thing that Richard has created. Everything that people say, uptime for X many days, the yield that it pays out in Hex, which is an immutable contract that isn't going to go away, call it what you want. That's the product. In comparison, do not give a shit about Pulse. I do, and I was involved in the sacrifice, but I care about Hex. So that's why I think we're getting this maniacal swinging up and down. It's going to be out when it's out. Find something else to do, seriously. Like if you're every waking hour is like, he said V3 is really close. I don't even care about V3, dude. I don't care about Pulse's launch date. It's going to affect me. I'm interested. It'll be nice when it's out and everything, but I'm not sitting here every single day. There's other stuff to do, man. You got to be building something and stop sitting on the sidelines on your hands waiting for a product to come out. In my mind, it's the most pathetic thing you could possibly do. Get something going otherwise for yourself personally, getting the other stuff in crypto that you believe in. If it isn't that, if it's just Hex, keep buying Hex and figuring out other game theory ways, understand Hedron a little bit more, which I definitely love as well. It's going to come out when it comes out. Find something else to do. I don't care about it anymore. I mean, like it'll be out when it's out. I'm not worrying about it anymore. So that's what I think it is. I think it's just too many people that are maniacally involved in this community, which again is good. And one of the main reasons that I want to be involved in it. But we are privy to all of these details. Literally Richard reading off exact things that devs are sending him on a live stream. Okay. So remember, if you're not into Tool and you're not into progressive rock music or anything like that, go ahead and just like read some of the sentiment that was happening. I'm not kidding you. From probably the year like 2009 to 2019, over a decade of people on forums that were talking about new album, new album, new album. I mean, I personally gave up. Not like I'm done with this band and I'm not going to support anything they do anymore. And I'll tell you what, it was worth the wait, despite what I'd say a minority might say. Fear Inoculum ended up being one of my favorite Tool albums. I think it's freaking epic, okay? But I quit Googling it. I moved on with my life until it seemed like there was actually something concrete happening. And I'm telling you, man, the payoff whenever I actually got the details of that album, and I remember they were doing a live show and they had a big backdrop behind them that showed the release date, August 30th, 2019, or 31st, one of the two. I was like euphoric. I was like, and the day that it came out, going to the gym with it in my earphones and listening to it in full, and then maniacally listening to it over and over again. Dude, the biggest payoff ever. PulseChain is going to come out. It'll come out when it comes out. Find something else to do in the meantime. And when things get serious, it's going to be glorious. So I hope this message was well received. And if it wasn't, dislike the video. That's fine. Yeah, if you like the channel, like it, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'll see you guys in the next one.